I've seen so many people rant and rave about this series, and when I found one in the charity shop, I just had to give it a go. I remember seeing one in Kyobo and reading the blurb and thinking that's not my cup of tea, but I think it was a different one. This one was more my cup of tea, so I was like, oh, this sounds better for me, so I'll buy it, and if it's good, it's good. If it's not, it's not. It's only £1.50. It's only £1.50. This one was more my cup of tea. This one was more my cup of tea. This one was more my cup of tea. Okay, I think you can see what this one is. Speaking of trashy novels, I yeah. I don't know why I look so traumatized. So I found this in a charity shop in England. When I found one in the charity shop, I just had to give it a go. It was £1.49. Very good. The price, very good. I have nothing against the author. I think she's a very celebrated author. I think that people really like her books. Great. I remember going to Kyobo and seeing Twisted Love in the Kyobo bookshop, and I was like, oh, this is meant to be really good. TikTok says it's really good. And I read the blurb and I went, no. When it comes to like romance books, I'm not big on romance books. I'm not the most romantic person in the world, and I get annoyed at like soppy love stories. And like the miscommunication trope is the worst trope, as well as the pregnancy trope. And they always have this, and it's always the same generic characters. It's always the tall, dark, handsome, 6-foot-something CEO that is generically great in bed and generically very handsome and makes lots of money, but he's married and he doesn't spend time with his wife, and he hates his wife, or he just doesn't spend time with her and forgets about her, and then they break up. And then they get divorced, and then he's like, actually, no, I do love her. And like, no, you love what you lost. You don't love her, you love you hate not having her. Like, the trope of, oh, she's run away from me, or, oh, she's not with me anymore, so I have to have her back. No. I hate it. I don't know why. I was so angry reading this book. The whole time. I was talking about it with a friend as well. I was talking about it with a friend. And I was like, I'm reading this book that people say is really good, and people say it's great or it's a good read, and they enjoyed reading it. And I was just like, and I was like, but I'm angry reading it all the time. Like, at first I was like, you go, Alessandra, you divorce him and you just don't talk to him and you just ignore him because he has ignored you for not 10 years, but he has ignored you for long enough. And he's put work in front of you. If a guy or a girl puts work in front of you and makes work a priority too many times, leave them. Like, I am work-minded. I am a workaholic sometimes. I am ambitious and I want a good life for myself and for whatever partner unfortunately has to date me. Unhappily. Whatever person accidentally and ends up with me, I'm sorry to that future person, okay? Because I'll probably be kicking the bed reading a book like this. I almost threw this across the room. This was so close to becoming a DNF. DNF, I almost did stop my heart. How annoyed I got. I went to Namhae the other weekend, and I was reading it on the bus. I was like, oh, this is a scene. Oh. There's a scene. And I was like, oh, it's boring. Oh, it's generic. And like, the Alessandra's like, oh, it's the best of my life. And I'm like, really? Okay. And it's like the most generic. It's the most generic. It's just not. And like, literally, like, he's like, you want a divorce? Why? Because you ignored her. Because you put work above her. My earlier point, like, I don't love work. I love being successful, and I love being ambitious, and I love stressing myself out to be working. If I'm not doing that, I'm learning Korean so that I can get a better job, and I'm learning, like, I'm doing this because I, want a hobby. And I'm always pushing myself to do stuff like this. I don't rest much. But if I had a partner, I would make sure to spend time with them and communicate. And actually give about them. I'm censoring myself so my editing self doesn't have to. Please be thankful, future me, for censoring myself. I don't know, because it's just so, like, she's like, but I'm divorcing you. But I keep thinking about you. And of course you're going to think about him. You were married to him for 10 years and you were dating him for a little bit before that. And yes, you have literally been together for a long time. However, you do not need to run back to him. There are many more men in the world. They are not a rarity. They are not dying or going extinct. There are more men, and I'm sure you can find another 6-foot CEO with however they look. I was so angry reading this. I was just like, stop going back to him! Leave him alone! Let him suffer! I was more passionate about hating this book than actually reading it, I think. And I don't know, the blurb is just so generic, and like the writing, there's nothing bad with it, but there's nothing bad with it. However, she uses orbs for eyes, and that's such a Wattpad 2013. Like, I remember going on Wattpad, writing fanfiction, and being like, his blue orbs sparkled, and thinking, author, writer, orbs. I want to find it. I remember reading it on the bus and being like, orbs? She used the orbs word. I don't know where it is now. I think it's in like the first half. Oh. Anyway, she mentions orbs. And I was like, orbs. And I was like, it's Wattpad 2013 all over again. I was on Wattpad way too early in life. And just the blurb. I was like, okay. When I read it in the charity shop, I was like, okay. My mum was like, what are you reading? I was like, I don't even know anymore. But I was like, it's 1:49. That's not bad. Considering like in Kyobo, this is like 12,000, 13,000, which is like, yeah, we were like 15,000 in Kyobo, so about 7-8 quid. So I got up at 1:49. That's not bad. Like, I was like reading the blurb, and actually, you know what? The one thing I'm happy about, it has a blurb. It doesn't have like New York Times say this is the book of the year, and random person from The Guardian says, I don't care what Jon Snow says from The Guardian. I don't care what Emma Watson or Emma Black or whatever says about this book. I just want to know what actually happened in it. Thanks. But I was reading it to my sister the other day. We were on a call, and I was like, because we love sharing what trashy books. We call them the trashy books, not because they're bad, but because they're like, you read them when you don't have a brain cell, and you read them for no reason other than just to read something, and you want to like, it's that high school girl kind of thing, like, oh, you read it for that. Because we were talking about, what was it, not Neon Gods, but another one, the one where like Hades is a club owner and Persephone goes into the club or something. That one, we'll find it. I was like, we both read it, and then I was reading another one. I was reading the Mistress King Slave one, whatever, at the same time. But I was like reading this to my sister on our Skype, Zoom call, whatever. And she was like, this sounds trashy. I was like, it is the trash. I don't think I would read any more of her books. Ana Huang? Not because you're a bad author. I think you're a great author, and I think people do love your books. They're just not for me. I was just too angry reading this. I was like, I'm not gonna I was so close to throwing this out of a window. I just was like, this is so generic, and it was just very generic, like, and I don't think, I know it's like number 3 in the series, I just don't think I could read another one. No. If you've read it and enjoyed it, let me know why. I want to know. I want to see people's opinions on this. And any books similar, like, yeah, tell me. Just tell me. I want to know. And yeah, recommend me some books. Enjoy what you're reading, and I'll talk to you soon.